The Four-Leaf Clover podcast is sponsored by Planet Celtic.
Easy
work, Andy. Easy work.
Easy work.
Celtic 3, Hearts 0. Welcome to the post-match show at the Four-Leaf Clover podcast. Andy, Brendan Rodgers spoke about it in his press conference yesterday. We didn't start well in the Glasgow derby, and we didn't start well today, actually, did we?
No, second best for the first easy 10 minutes, maybe a wee bit longer than that. Aye, way off it right at the very start. So it's not it wasn't the start I was looking for. I was really looking for a reaction. And we didn't get that straight for the start, mate.
Aye, first 10 minutes, it was pretty much, it was all Hearts, really. We weren't in it at all. The new goalkeeper had a few saves to make as well, and mate, he stood out. I thought he was pretty impressive in that first 10 minutes.
Aye, I think he had to be. You know, he's filling in for a keeper that's been sensational for us this season. So I want to make sure I get his name right here because I get pulled up last night for saying Sinasolo and it's Sinasalo. So I just want to correct myself for last night. So thanks for the correction. I can't remember who it was that pulled me up for that. So I've managed to get it right today. So hopefully I get it right going forward because it looks as if he's going to be in the rest of the season, I would say so. Yes,
the goalkeeping police were in the chat last night. I seen that as well, mate.
So just before we move on, I meant to mention my boy last night. It's his birthday day. He's 19, Michael. I meant to do it last night. I totally forgot. So I said I'd give him a wee shout out today. So happy birthday, Michael. Big 19 today. That was some embarrassing. The documentary I was part of about the Glasgow derby. He was there that night. They filmed that in bar 67 at Gallagate. So we all got a picture with the cup that night. That was that night that was done. So I hope I seen him this morning when he gave me his gifts. He get the mind the cheese and onion tap. I can't even mind what year that is. The green and the gold, the swirl in it for the kind of 90s era. We got him that and we got him the Celtic away tap centenary the one you done last night. We got him that, so he was delighted with that. So aye, happy birthday to him. Sorry, mate, we can carry on with the game now.
No, mate, all the best, young man. That's what it's all about, Andy. That is what it's all about, sir. Brilliant. So aye, let's move on. We look at the starting lineup, Andy. What did you think of that?
I think, you know, when we're talking about positions, maybe Kuhn and Nerowski. I actually never had a problem with Nerowski starting the game. I said that last night, but I was looking at it from Brendan's point of view, and I thought he might have just went with Trusty. I know he's just back for injury. But he did die, so fair play to him. You know, he stuck with Nerowski, who was the standout in the game against the Rotten Mob. Probably the only one that you could give kind of pass marks to in that game.
Yeah.
So it was good to see him getting another opportunity. You know, I think it was deserved. You've got Kuhn on the right-hand side, who's been off the ball a wee bit. You're kind of looking at his body language. You're not too sure what kind of Kuhn's going to turn up today. Incidentally, I thought he had a good game. I thought he had a good game today. So overall, still, it was apart from Nerowski, I thought he'd have went with Trusty. It's the team that I thought he was going to put out.
Aye, I was quite happy to see Nerowski starting as well, mate. I'm not a big fan of Trusty. I'm sure everybody realises that when I speak about him, you know, and I think you're pretty much the same, mate. We spoke about him. He's pretty much like Big Julian, you know. He's a bit fragile as a centre half, and I was quite happy to see Nerowski in there, mate, and get a game. I kind of thought Ralston would have got a start today as well. I think he's done enough to get a start, especially with Scotland. But aye, it was one of them, and I didn't think Kuhn was too fantastic again today, but we will get into it. So, like we said, my good man, first 10 minutes, pretty much Hearts, couple of good saves from the Finnish lad. And on the 12th minute, Andy, there was a penalty decision that went to VAR. Sorry, talk us through it.
Aye, so the ball comes to the boy and his arm is kind of extended. It does hit him in the arm. And I think it looked as if it was a clear penalty, but there was a foul before that. I think it was a push. So it was when VAR looked at it, they pulled it back, obviously viewing the incident as a penalty. But then beforehand, what happened beforehand, it was a foul. So I suppose rightly so, the penalty was the given. That was really kind of the first incident, really, to speak of in the 12th minute, apart for a couple of saves for Sinisalo. So, I think, you know, if it wasn't for the foul, then it would have been a penalty. I think it was quite clear for the footage.
Yeah. And then on the 17th minute, a great ball from Kalmak and just a great finish from Maeda. 1-0 Celtic, mate. Brilliant build-up.
It was Schlupp to Kalmak, and he just kind of turns on the ball, doesn't he, and kind of runs with it. Great slide rule pass to Maeda, just a low right foot finish into the back of the net, and that man is absolutely lethal. No surprise to see Maeda scoring. He's been doing it plenty of times this season. That was his 29th goal that he scored, which is unbelievable. And we spoke about this before, about obviously Kyogo leaving, and we're all kind of worried. And this man stepped in and took the reins, really, when it comes to being a striker for Celtic. He's been absolutely superb through the middle. A position we were really kind of worried about. You know, we were left in the lurch because we didn't bring another striker. And then, but a position he's done it many times for Japan. Just about every game he plays for Japan, that's where he plays. So we know he can play that position. He's been fantastic. Maeda, absolutely fantastic. And it good to see Kalmak back as well. I thought he had a pretty good game of day. Kalmak, so good to see him back in the Midley Park again, and you know, the captain's influence there.
It was quite mad today, actually, seeing that starting lineup and the bench as well. Let's just have a quick look at it again, Andy. The difference from that to the Glasgow Derby is night and day, isn't it?
Yep.
And it was just, we'll talk about it later on with the guys coming on, but look at that bench to the bench that started against the dark side. It was night and day, wasn't it? Absolutely night and day.
It was good to see Bernardo back again. Obviously, long-term injury. Jamesy, the same again, long-term injury. Good to see him back, the most decorated player at the club, isn't he? Wee Jamesy boy. He's the most decorated player in the UK, isn't he? I think Scholes is second, and then it's Kalmak. As far as I'm aware, I'm sure I've seen something on Facebook today or yesterday. So
across Facebook.
I know, mate. I should know better. It's absolute nonsense most of the time, but I quite liked that wee graphic when I seen it. I thought, superb, wee Jamesy boy. Good to see him back. Good to see Bernardo back as well, and obviously getting some game time.
Aye, absolutely outstanding. And then on the 23rd minute, a great ball in from Kuhn to Maeda. Hits the post and it breaks out to Jota. 2-0 Celtic. Unbelievable.
Aye. Kuhn does that really well. It's his kind of signature move where he cuts inside, he just pings it into Dyson and hits it off the post. And you can see him right away, he puts his arms up in disappointment, like, oh, an opportunity lost, but there's Jota there. Just slide in and poke it in the back of the net. So delighted for Jota to get a goal as well. And obviously to go 2-0 up after 23 minutes is we're an easy street really after that. Even now, after a kind of slow, kind of laboured first 10 minutes or so, you can see Celtic really starting to get into their groove there. And then I think that, from my point of view, there really wasn't any doubt where the points were going to end up today at that point.
It just seemed very, very comfortable, didn't it, mate? You know, once we got that first goal, it was easy street, wasn't it?
It was almost like a training session. That's how easy it was. I still think we were intense with our pressing. Now, when Hearts did get the ball, we were actually pretty good at containing them and putting the pressure on them, trying to win the ball back. It's not as if the game's won. We can sit back and just give them the ball. We'll take it after them, whatever. So there was still a good bit of intensity there, which was good to see. But lethal, you know, and clinical when it came to chances. So that's the Celtic you want to see in it. That maybe certainly they were missing for the last game. That's for sure. But I'm absolutely delighted just to see Celtic back playing football again, because as we spoke about last night, these international breaks are absolute murder, from my point of view anyway, because I'm not really into international football. So it was really good just to get Celtic back at Celtic Park again. Horrible day, right enough, you know. You look at the weather and the howling wind and the rain, and I was kind of glad that I didn't go. I got offered a ticket earlier on, but I had too much. I had a bit of running about today before I actually get in to see the game. So unfortunately, I couldn't. Our Baz had offered this. So incidentally, his brother George isn't well. The new Baz's brother. So get well soon, George. Hope you're doing well, mate.
Aye, all the best to you, George. Sure, Michelle there. The most decorated player in Scottish football based on trophies. One is James Forrest, who has equalled Bobby Lennox's record of 25 trophies with Celtic. So cheers for that, Michelle. She just got on Google there for us. She jumped off the wrestling channel there, Andy, and jumped on Google for a wee second. So that was nice.
That's good to have that kind of admin in the background to help you out there, innit? Because it saves us doing it.
Exactly. We've not got a clue what we're talking about. So on the 33rd minute, Schlupp should score. He really should have give it to Jota. He got a lucky break, mate, and he gets a shot off, but a good save from Craig Gordon. I thought Schlupp was brilliant today, by the way.
Aye, he looked very positive in that move. He left it too late. I thought he should have passed to Jota a lot sooner. He was available, but the longer he left it, they realised that pass was on and they shot Jota down. So the option was there. He took it, and it was a save. And then right after that, actually, he had a shot as well, Scotty, but he skied it right over the bar. So, you know, we've been hearing about Schlupp that he's got this in him. We've not quite seen it yet because it's either been saved or skied over the bar. We've seen it a few times with Schlupp, but I like that positivity. I don't mind people, even if they make a mistake, as long as they've been positive in their action. It's when they start going back the way and making mistakes and being negative and causing themselves trouble, which we've seen a couple of times today. I've got to bring that up as well. A couple of kind of situations you get in with passing it back when there's absolutely no need for it. Put it up the park, get yourself out of danger. But just for that point of view with Schlupp going forward, always good to see players being positive.
He's very positive, mate. He likes to have a shot and all the rest of it. But is he a guy that you would like to see come in at the end of the season?
I was thinking about this during the game, and I'm looking at it, and I do like him as a player, but I was thinking to myself, I can't wait till KT gets back in a Celtic shirt and playing on that park. I'm really looking forward to it. But Schlupp is a great option, and we've also spoke about this as well, that it's not just that position he can play in. So there's various positions they could fill in. I think it's a no-brainer to try and keep him at the club if we can. I think it could help out in a few positions if need be.
Aye, I'm with you, mate. I think he's a no-brainer, man. I would definitely get him in if the weekly wage is right. Obviously, he's not wanting crazy money. Then why not? You know, on a freebie. I think he's been superb for us. I think he's been pretty solid, and like you said, he can play in different positions. So these players are hard to come by. So with his experience and the way he's been playing, I think he's a no-brainer, mate. I think we've definitely got to get him in at the end of the season. So on the 40th minute, Andy, brilliant play. Hatate out to Kuhn. He slides it across to Maeda and it's a tap-in. It's 3-0 and it's 30 goals for Dyson Maeda this season. Absolutely incredible for Dyson this season.
I'll get to that goal in a second, right? I just need to bring this up, Scotty, because in 37 minutes, the ball comes in for Hearts, and that young boy Wilson, I think he's still at school, this boy, right? And incidentally, absolute schoolboy defending with Celtic. This boy's free in the box himself. He's got a free leader and he puts it by the post. And I'm looking at it and I'm going, who's meant to be picking him up? Narovski's away there near CCV, and I'm like, that was a chance that he should have put away. So I think we get quite lucky there. But the goal with Maeda to make it 30 goals. Hatate, he fights for the ball. He manages to get his toe on it and gets it to Kuhn, and a great ball for Kuhn and for Maeda just to finish it. Fantastic, and great to see Dyson score again as well. Brilliant move. We're in easy street then, aren't we? The game is well and truly done at that point. But for Dyson to get his 30th goal, absolutely delighted. I'm just looking at the games left and how many is it going to end up by the end of the season? It's going to be very interesting. I think definitely our player of the season. We spoke about Kuhn at the start of the season. He's drifted off a wee bit. For whatever reason, I don't know. But we said that his nose could be out of joint with Jota coming. I don't know why that would be the case because they're no vying for the same position. But maybe the whole attention on him, he wasn't too happy about. I know you weren't too impressed with Kuhn today. I thought he done pretty well. I thought he was involved in quite a lot. Never made many mistakes at all. But Maeda I love that guy to bits.
Aye, incredible, mate. Absolutely incredible. No wonder Celtic are trying to put a new deal on the table. You know, the guy's been phenomenal this season. And like we said, you know, Michelle said there 7 games in a row he scored now. We spoke about it last night that was going to be the case.
Yep.
The guy's on fire, man, and definitely deserves a new deal. And hopefully we can keep a hold of him. But I think there's going to be a few suitors for his signature in the summer. So, Andy, it finished 3-0, half-time. Just give us your thoughts, mate, on the overall first half.
Delighted, apart from the first 10 minutes. It's not the start I was looking for, but you're getting in at 3-0 at half-time. It's game over. So, couldn't be any happier. Thought we would have added to that as the second half went on. But I delighted. Really, really happy. Back to doing what we do best, which is totally dominate teams. I thought I was expecting more for Hearts. I'd said that would possibly be 2-1. I was looking at, I know, did Paddy say 3-1 or 3-0?
Oh, 3-0. Paddy said 3-0.
3-0, so he got it bang on. Yourself, I think you went 5. Is that right?
5.
But I mean, you're 3-0 up at half time, then you're looking at it. Come full time, you're probably going to be 5 up, especially the way Hearts were playing, because for me, they just gave up the ghost and that was it. They were quite happy to take a 3-0 the way the game rolled on. Not I'm too bothered about how they do, but I was expecting a bit of a harder game for him. I've got to be honest. That's why I only went for 2-1. But absolutely delighted at half time to be 3-0 up.
Aye, I don't know what happened in the second half, mate. I mean, I've not really got many notes, to be honest with you, because nothing happened. I think both teams just settled that you know, the game was by. I think Hearts and Celtic, you know, Shankland was mincing a bit with his captain's armband in his horn for about 15 minutes as well.
What was that about? Nobody wanted it and near the tee. Just when they actually take it off, I think he went off the park still holding it. I don't even think anybody took it. He
did, mate. He did. He was it was a very surreal second half, to be honest with you. It was just a weird one. But anyway, a couple of things happened anyway. So on the 45th minute, Jota, great play down the left as soon as we started the second half. He tried a shot, but a good save from Craig Gordon. Mm-hmm. On the 55th minute, Calmack tries one, a decent effort from outside the box, but routine as well for Craig Gordon. And then the substitutions happened, Andy. The guys that we've been missing for a wee while. Bernardo, not been in action since the Raith Rovers game on 8th of February. Mm-hmm. He come on and Calmack went off. Great to see Bernardo back in the team. And as you mentioned as well, Calmack, brilliant today.
He was a really good game, but, you know, he's just coming back as well for an injury, so it's good to manage the game if you've got somebody that can replace him just after the 60-minute mark. And great to see Bernardo back on the park as well. Really gifted player. Doesn't get enough time for my liking. I know Engels has been good and Hatate can be indifferent, but, you know, I think the good outweigh the bad with Hatate. That's the reason why he gets so many starts. But I think Bernardo's got to be up there with talent. He's a captain of his international team, the under-21s. He's comes from a great pedigree as well with the Benfica academy. He's a player to look at, given a kind of run in the team. Hopefully he gets a lot more game time towards as we get to the end of the season. I want to see us. I know the day wasn't a sprint over the line. You know, we managed the game very well. We passed it about, as I said, it was like a training game for a lot of that game of day. But we certainly only stuttered near the finish line. So even if we're in easy street in games, we're certainly not in danger of losing it. And you don't want to be stuttering towards possibly a treble, the way things are going. I'd like to see a wee bit more zip about us at times, a wee bit less jitteriness. Is that a word? Jitteriness? Have I just made that up? At the back, I think at times, and I'm going to bring this up because we have won the game, is that at times at the back we really put ourselves in danger when there's absolutely no need to do it. I've not got a problem with a player just pinging out our players to get just get it up the park. Whether we get control of it again up there, it just gives you a bit of space to push up the park, and then you've got to start again to try and kind of come at your goal. I've got no problem with that. I understand the way Brendan wants you to play, but please don't play yourself into danger when there's no need. Just ping it up. Just get it out of the road.
Aye. No, bang on, mate. Absolutely bang on. And then Brendan, after that, made another couple of substitutions on the 69th minute. Yang and Ida came on for Maeda and Kuhn. On the 79th minute, Jota and Hatate came off for Forrest and McCowan.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty much it, mate.
I never took any notes for there, so if you were going to ask me for something, I was going to have to make it up.
This is the thing, mate. Nothing happened. So that's exactly my notes. Not a lot happening in the second half. But we're now 16 points clear, a clean sheet and 3 points. St Johnstone are up next weekend at McDermott Park.
Mm-hmm.
There genuinely was not a lot to talk about, mate, in that second half. I don't really know what to say, mate. It was just everybody sort of down tools, mate, at half time, didn't they?
As I said, the job is done at half time. That's the problem, you know. You get the team that you're up against is like, right, so we can't venture forward too far because we're going to get absolutely scalped here. And the team who are in ascendancy and basically get the game won at half time, they don't need to go marauding up the park. They can just take it at their pace, and ultimately that's when you end up with a half like that. But two teams only totally, they don't have to be, because Hearts are so worried about getting pumped that they're quite happy to take a 3-0 at half time, and that's us. That'll do us, you know. Well, no way you were going to get back into this game, so let's not make it worse. It was a damage limitation job.
Yeah,
and they managed to do that in the second half. But I think a lot of that was down to Celtic as well. The intensity kind of dropped off just a wee bit because you didn't have to go and strain yourself and maybe get an injury or whatever when there isn't any need. Plus the fact you've got the weather as well. It's pushing down, it's howling wind, and it's a case of I'm not straining myself here. The game's won. Closer we get to 90 minutes and get back in the dressing room, the better. We've got the 3 points in the bag.
Aye, it was certainly one of them. Certainly that was the case, Andy. It was very, very comfortable in the second half, and as somebody just mentioned there, just a training exercise, you know. It was just about getting guys off, getting guys on, all the rest of it.
Aye.
And the 3 points were in the bag at half time. So let's have a wee chat, Andy, about Wednesday night. We've got a big night on the podcast on Wednesday night. I don't know if you have been noticing, but the past couple of weeks, the past couple of Fridays especially, we have been doing an appeal on the podcast to try and find Gary Shearer, who is a Celtic fan who went out to Lanzarote, Andy, 2 years ago for St Paddy's Day, and unfortunately has not been seen since. And we've done a couple of appeals for the gentleman and tried to get his face out there and all the rest of it. His mum and his niece Darcy have been out in Lanzarote for the past week, putting up flyers, handing out stuff, putting signs up, stuff like that, on his anniversary. And we've managed to get in contact with her, Andy, as well. And she's going to come on to the podcast on Wednesday night, isn't she?
I thought it would be a good idea if we could get Darcy on to hear it for her point of view. You know, with her words rather than us just kind of passing on information. I think it's better to come straight for her. So reached out to her yesterday. Was yesterday, wasn't it? Aye.
Yeah.
And she's agreed to come on the pod. So any way that we can highlight this. But I've got to say, you know, the family going out to Lanzarote and just no giving up with us and pushing it. Fair play to them, because they want answers, you know. It must be really, really difficult. No known. It's no known as just an absolute terrible position to be in. And Paddy spoke very well as well about putting information out and just having a look through cameras. And, you know, it's worthwhile just having a wee, if you were there at that time, just have a wee look. You might not even know that you've got him there or any kind of information about, not just that, but the guy, the older gentleman that was pictured with Gary in the CCTV after he'd left Bar 67, that guy's never been identified either. The two guys like that can't just this. Somebody's got to have seen something somewhere.
Yeah.
So I think it's good to get Darcy on. We'll get her point of view and get it out there, share it with as many people as possible, get it out so everybody gets to hear the family story here and where they want to go forward to get as much information as possible. But again, fair play to them for getting away out to Lanzarote and no giving up and keep chasing it and made them open the case again. This case was closed.
Yeah.
This investigation was closed and they've been forced to open it again. And not only that, it's been put on Crime Watch and on now. So never give up, you know. As Andrew used to say, never stop. We never stop. So fair play to them. And looking forward to Wednesday to get a wee chat with Darcy and try and get it out there to as many people as possible.
Yeah, as Andy said there, you know, the case was closed. They went out to Lanzarote. They've done their bit. And the Guardia Civil out in Spain, out here, have opened the case back up now because of their persistence for this guy to try and find some answers. We'll have Darcy on Wednesday night. Unbelievable, really. Another thing as well is I don't think any other Celtic podcast has touched on this, Andy, which I find quite shocking, to be honest. You know, he's a Celtic fan, and I thought that everybody would have been on board with this, and it doesn't seem to be the case, which is a bit shocking from my point of view. But yeah, we'll get Darcy on Wednesday night, ladies and gentlemen, and we will have a good chat with her and give her as much time as she needs to get the full story out there, which I don't think she's had. So we're lucky enough to have this platform to get that out there, and we'll definitely do that for her. So that's us, ladies and gentlemen. The game finished. Celtic 3, Heart of Midlothian 0. Andy, thank you so much for joining me today. We'll get our Jerry and our Paddy back on Wednesday night. Thank you so much for all your comments as well, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you on Wednesday night. Hail, hail.
Hail, hail.